I'm going to have to go back in and rename our video to lesson 20. Otherwise, we're going to have 2 lesson 19. I'll fix that. It's not that hard to do.
Okay. Well, you've got one. I've got one. As long as you submit it to the right spot.
Yeah. Okay. So number 1, or 3, I should say, not number 1. What did you guys get for the hypothesis?
For number 1?
Mm-hmm. Well, number 3, but yeah.
So,
still doing it.
Affiliation and whether they were in favor or against Proposition 8 are independent.
No. So this one asks, okay, respondents were classified by gender, male or female, and by voting preference, Republican, Democrat, or Independent. The results are presented in this chart. In this set of questions, we will explore a research question. Do men's voting preferences differ significantly from women's voting preferences?
What are you
so what would be the
hypothesis? We're in the preparation assignment.
Pull up the test, dear.
So do men's voting preferences differ significantly from women's? So gender and voting preferences are.
So would it be
the independent and not independent? The third one?
That's what I have.
Yeah, the last one.
And then the degrees of freedom is the third one. Number 5 is 2. I just started doing these, sorry. I entered everything and did the chart already. So for the X2 test, everything must be a simple random sample, and each expected count must be greater than or equal to 5. So yes, there are at least 5 expected counts in each cell. Is that what you guys chose, or?
No, I don't even know where you're at. What?
Number 6.
I think
you might just go ahead and do it. I'm going to come back and do it when we're done. So you just work through it. I'm just going to sit here.
So for number 3, we got the last one, right? The number 4, we got the last one.
Well, why don't we let Kelly have some time to get her information in, because she was trying to figure out how to record.
You know what? Michelle, thanks. You guys just do it, and I'll go back and take the test later. But I'm going to record it, and I'm going to submit it. I'm not going to let this frustrate me. It's stupid. I've let this get the best of me today, and my poor dog better watch out because he just might get left outside. Oh, wait, he is outside because I haven't peed or done anything in 3 hours. So knock yourselves out.
Okay. So, Michelle, for number 4, did you get the last one? Where the degrees of freedom equals the numbers of rows minus 1 times the number of columns minus 1?
Okay, wait, hold on. So what number are you on? Sorry.
I'm on number 4.
So number 4, I got the last one. Number of rows minus 1 times the number of rows minus 1.
Yeah, or number of columns minus 1, yeah.
Yeah, columns.
Okay. And then the degrees of freedom, I inputted all the information into Excel just barely, and the answer was 2.
Yep.
Okay, so the requirements for conducting the chi-squared chart or test, it's simple random sample, and each expected count must be greater than or equal to 5. And so I put, yes, there are at least 5 expected counts. What is the count, though?
The expected counts, isn't that on the Excel sheet, and then you have to look at that and see if it's above 5?
That's what I was thinking it was. That's what I was thinking it was.
So they're all greater than 30. Yes, there are 5 observed counts. So would it be the third one down?
None of these answers seem to be right.
I put the first one because I think in the rules, at least when I was reading the rules, it says there's at least one of the requirements is that there are at least 5 expected counts. So that one sounded just like the rule, so I clicked on that one.
So the requirement for a chi test of independence. You must use the simple random sample to obtain a sample from a single population. And number 2, each expected count must be greater than or equal to 5.
So I suppose that's another way to reword it.
So because the expectant count on the Excel sheet
is greater than 30, it's greater than the 5.
They're 60 and 40.
Okay. Yes, so all of them are greater than 30. Okay, that makes sense. What is the value
How
of
does
X?
that make sense? The individual cell counts, it doesn't matter. As long as
we're going down to, you remember on the video where he went ahead and he looked down at that big chart down at the bottom right below the input?
Yeah.
Counts. And then he goes into the expected counts, and he said that if any of those are greater than 5, then it's passed.
Exactly. So I don't think that yes, all of the expected cell counts are greater than 30 has anything to do with it.
Well,
so it's at least 5 expected cell counts in each cell? Like the rule says?
Right.
Okay.
Because there's at least 5. So if it said there's at least 4, it wouldn't be true because there have to be at least 5.
Yeah.
Do you understand, okay. Michelle?
No, not really.
So are the requirements meant for conducting a chi-squared test? So what we're looking for is that the individual cells are, the numbers are greater than 5. Not that the expected cell counts are greater than 30. Because 30 has nothing to do with a chi-squared test, but 5 does. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I chose that one, is because it was the straight up answer or the straight up rule.
It's not, though. The first choice is not the straight up rule. The straight up rule is it must be greater than 5.
Well, it says it specifically says each expected count. So we're not looking at the observed counts in the purple. We're looking below that at the expected counts.
Right, and each one of those needs to be greater than 5. So to choose the third one where it says all the expected cell counts are greater than 30, they might be, but that's not what's required to do a chi-squared test. It's just that they need to be greater than 5. So this is a play on words.
So which one would it be?
Greater. We have the word greater in the third choice, but the first choice says that yes, because there are at least 5 expected counts in each cell. And the rule for a chi-squared test is that each cell, the expected count is greater than 5. Where did you go?
I am done with the Google Hangouts. I'm just going to have to hang out on the phone.
Okay.
I can't get my computer to boot.
Okay. So I think this is a play on words because the rule is that each expected count needs to be greater than 5. Right? And so the third choice says that all of the expected cell counts are greater than 30, which may be true, but it's not. That's not the rule.
Okay.
So the first one says there are at least 5 expected counts in each cell. And the rule for a chi-squared is that each one is greater than 5. So, oh, wait, though. Can it be 5? It's not greater than.
It's greater than or equal to 5.
Okay, so that's why I think number 1 is right, or the first choice.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on. The number 5 is 1. I'm trying to get back into the quiz. My computer's booted up, so. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Or did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm not like in technology today at all. There's got to be. I'm going to have my husband on the computer again.
So, Courtney, do you have everything in a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
All right. Can't even find my test. So we're looking for the value of the chi-squared test statistic in this problem.
Yes.
Do you have it?
Yeah. It's 16.204.
16.204.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Okay, good.
And then the p-value is 0.
Value. Did you get 0, Michelle?
I got 0.0003.
0.0003,
0.0003.
which would be 0. So which of the following statements best describes the outcome of the study? So the null is they gender and voting are independent, and the alternative is gender and voting are not independent. So the p-value is less than the level of significance. So that means we have insufficient evidence. You said sufficient?
Yeah, because we're rejecting it. So there's sufficient evidence to suggest that the gender and voting preferences are not independent. I think it's the first one, based off of the hypothesis above.
So we reject and then state the alternative, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We reject the null because we have sufficient evidence to state the alternative, which is that they are not independent. Yeah. You got that, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, reasons for seeking chiropractic care. Because that's legal. Alcohol is not.
Alcohol is legal. It's just against our beliefs. I'm typing in all the data right now. I'm almost done. Oops, I missed something.
Yeah, I don't trust these because the homework doesn't work right.
We don't need the totals.
Oh.
Take these off. Okay, so I got it all in there. Okay.
Are you putting it in, Michelle?
I'm.
Yeah.
The conditions are they met?
Okay, so you just look at each column, and if it's greater than 5, then the conditions are met.
Yes. What are the degrees of freedom? That is
8.
Yeah. H. The value of the x, which chi is 7.436.
Hey, beautiful. You've got a text
And then
message.
the p-value is 0.490. And because it's so high, we failed to reject. So there's insufficient evidence. What was the thing? They are not independent.
But 0.5, is that what we're still?
I think it's given. It's given. The level of significance is given here.
Yeah.
So the alternative at the very top.
0.05.
Yeah. So the null is the location and motivation to visit are independent, and the alternative is location and motivation to visit are not independent. So we're going to fail to reject.
Yeah.
Which means there's insufficient evidence, and it looks.
It's the second one.
There's insufficient evidence to suggest that motivation to visit a chiropractor is not independent of the location.
Yep. That's it. Only that. Let me make sure I got them all.
I'm submitting real fast.
All right.
Oh, so we got number 10 wrong. And that's it.
It's a true false.
So it's true.
I had true.
Why did I accidentally clicked on false? My Dumbo.
Oh yeah, we had true.
You guys are right. I thought I clicked on true. Because yeah, it's been met. There's a 5. I don't know what it did. So yeah, you guys are good.
Yeah, it's the only one. I don't think there's going to be a lot of these problems on the exam.
They're not too hard, so.
So the problem I have right now is I can't find this video again of where we are.